Alright everyone, we are back to another step in the build, which is cutting the Reflectix. So I just need to cut out this stuff. I've gotten some of my trusty tools, scissors, and my little book that's got all my measurements in there. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put my T-square at the certain marks I need, take my little Sharpie, run it across there, and just cut it to size. I'm only having to cut off about 3 inches stripped this way, so that should be easy. They're all the same height at 79 inches. So my biggest battle is going this way, and then I've got to trim off just depending upon where the different gaps are over here. So, all right, let's do this. Boy, people, it is freezing out here. I mean, literally, actually freezing, like legit. It's 27. So 20 degrees outside, 27 inside here, 22 in the cab, and I've started just doing my initial hanging of this. You can tell there's a little bit of cold air behind here, but mainly these things are just freezing cold. So I have got to hurry up and get my stuff together so I can create my thermal bridges. And you can tell, like right here, that thing is freezing cold. Down here, my wood, you can tell it's not as cold, mainly because it's wood. So I've got to build up my next insulation up here, which would be, I will have a little bit of room. So I'm probably going to put some more, I thought about doing some foam. I've got some extra high density foam, but I could do some other stuff too. So we'll see. I've got to hang up these next ones. And all I'm doing for this is I've got some commercial Velcro, and I put a tab right up here, another tab on the corner, just to kind of loosely hang it right now at the moment. Once it gets bolted in there with this stuff, it's not going to move. It will stay flush against it. So this is just for hanging purposes right now. And I'm going to do a test probably tomorrow on just seeing how much of a thermal difference I can get just by doing this other stuff. Also, too, I got that weather stripping. I need to do the weather stripping around this as well. This is kind of a gap. It doesn't feel too cold, which is funny. So that may be better insulated than the doors. The doors definitely has got some issues out of that one. So, yeah, got to get these things finished. I've cut those 3. This will be my last one. It's a little shorty on here. And, yeah, we'll see. Looks good. It definitely probably is going to help. It's got to help out some way, somehow, some shape, form, or fashion. It's got to help in one way or another. So I'm going to go ahead and keep cutting, and we'll let you guys know. All right, I finished hanging up the 3 extra walls. So they're a little loose at the moment, but no big deal. I'll put on some more Velcro come the morning. And also, too, I got to cut up and trim some of these up. This one sits a little bit off, but that's mainly because I just don't have it pushed back in that corner. So, yeah, looks good. Just come across. See how I'm just tucking those things? Man, did I get off that much? Probably. Yes, I did. Gotta stretch up at the top. So, anyway, it's good enough for tonight. Get me through in the morning. Because it's like 20-something degrees outside, I think, now. 20-something or other. 20 degrees outside, and it is 28 inside. So, yeah, we'll do an experiment tomorrow to see the temperature difference between here. So, guys, let's wait until tomorrow. Let's do some temperature testing. All right, everyone, I'm back the next morning, and it is a nice, crisp 22 degrees inside. So, what I'm going to do to test this thing out, since I've got all the Reflectix up on the walls, except for one panel. I gotta get that one last panel right there. That's just upstairs. So I'm going to turn on my little radiant heat heater and see if that helps out at all in here, if it hurts, or just kind of get some general temperature readings. And let's just see, A, will it heat up the space a little bit faster, and 2, what does the outcome look like? So let's go ahead and test it up. I'm gonna go ahead and plug up my little thing. It's at 1,000 watts and 1,500 watts. So I'm going to probably put this on the 1,000 watt just to see. So, experiment, let's begin. All right, everyone, testing it out. So I'm on 1,000 watts down here on the little heater. And it has, that's infrared heater. It's been in here for about 2 hours. So the readings are official. 43 is the thermometer right here. 48 is the one right there in the back hanging. So we have had a temperature difference of about 20 degrees over that time period. So 43 is still not comfortable to live in, I don't think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing off, and we're going to figure out how much it drops down, how fast. And that should give us a pretty good determination as to, is this insulation helping, hurting? Actually, it's not even really up here. I mean, like, there's gaps everywhere in it. This is not a true test by any means, but I think I've ruled out the electric heaters just don't work. There's just not enough heat transference amongst them to make sense. So, yeah. Other than that, I just need to get this stuff up on the wall and, yeah, make it look good and stuff. So I keep touching it just looks so good. It looks so good. And it's got to trim up some spots here and there a little bit. Also, too, I got to put this last little piece, but, yeah. I've also got to run to Walmart, too. So let's go ahead and do the test, come back here in about an hour, see how much is left. All right, everyone, it is 3 hours later, and the heater is still off, not working. I forgot to put my last little bit of insulation right over there. And what's funny is I came back, and our stuff is still around 42 and 47 in here. So, and it's actually just about as cold as it was this morning. So it could be where, it could be, number one, where it's just kind of got sunlight hitting against this side of the vehicle. But man, I almost wonder if that Reflectix kept that infrared heat inside here and just kind of warmed up the place and kept it at a nice 42 or whatever. So I'm going to put up this last panel, and I want to try this out as it gets darker outside tonight and see the difference. Let it drop down to like 26. Outside, I believe it was only, yeah, outside it's 31 degrees outside. So yeah, I want to see if that really was this Reflectix kind of keeping those air barriers at bay and reflecting off here, because I can feel like this one's cold. My last panel is. This one right here is somewhat warm, somewhat cold. So that could be distance from the heater too. And then we will test out to see what the propane does, which I think propane is going to win out. Personally, I felt the difference the other day. I just don't know how long it's going to last inside the walls as is. And then once we start putting in this high density foam, man, I just tell you, I just have a feeling that this is going to keep out a lot of noise, and two, I think it's going to keep out a lot of just that barrier between them. And I'm going to try to put cork in between here on that exterior of it as well. So yeah, more to come. I got to get this last panel up there. And also too, I bought a bunch of wire today so I can finish out these wiring projects and get those in. That'd be good to finish that up and get my red lights in, which my red lights will be here later on today. From good old Amazon. So fun stuff. All right, I'll let you guys know as we come back here later. I'm gonna get that last panel on, and then I'm gonna do a test tonight as well for the electric heater, just see how well it holds. Do another 2-hour test. All right. All right, guys. All I'm gonna do is take a couple of these strips of heavy-duty industrial Velcro and put them behind places that are starting to pop out a little bit. Right here, this one just kind of sits away from the edge a little bit, so I got poked right there. I'm just gonna put another one probably down here somewhere. That's it. Now I'm gonna do the other side. Never can tell. And then now I just want to show you how I was kind of cutting this ahead of time. Obviously my wire's back here. all I'm gonna do is just take one of these little razor blade knives, poke a small little hole through there, and just feed my wire through. So I can feel it. It's probably right here. And then I'm gonna stick the wires all the way to the back. Just keep feeding those back. So that way it sits in here kind of flush. And just like that. And so now I've got my wires right up here. You can not even see this. It's horrible angle, isn't it? Yeah. You can kind of see just your positive, negative, your positive and ground. And of course this back one actually doesn't have one. So this is where I plan on putting my kitchen. Well, actually I think I'm gonna do storage over here since this thing doesn't have any light. And then that way storage back this through these two, put my kitchen up front there so I've got all different lighting aspects. So it's coming together, people. Coming together quite nicely. Now you gotta figure out the hard part. I think the whole installation part will be the figuring out how to cut these foam boards because they're about 1/2 inch thick, and I just don't know if this is gonna be my answer to cut them or if I gotta use something else. So I will experiment with that and let you guys know which is best for you. Meanwhile, I keep finishing up over here.